thanks to the supporters of channel member Length. Quick public service announcement today, folks. That at some point over the weekend, as soon as we have the tier 10 database from the FM editor, the database I use every year for my lower league saves, as soon as we've got that, I'm going to be starting my one club Road to Glory save over on Twitch. So if you don't already follow me on Twitch, you probably want to be following me on Twitch if you like a one club Road to Glory. Twitch.tv/LOLLUJO. The save might be starting on Sunday night. It might be starting on Monday night. It might be the middle of next week. But sometime soon, that database is going to be ready and we're going to be starting that save. And you're not going to want to miss the start of it. Hello and welcome to part 12 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have the FA Cup 4th qualifying round game against Darlington as we look to book a spot in the first round proper of the FA Cup. We're also at home against Woking in the National League. Since you were last with me, we've been on a little bit of an unbeaten run. We're not steamrolling over everybody and winning every game, but we are staying unbeaten, and that is important. The fact we're not losing loads of games. We've also got an absolute ridiculous run of form from Slavy Spasov, who's on 15 goals from 12 games so far this season. 15 goals from 10 starts so far this season. He is tearing up the National League, which is lovely stuff. This is what the league table looks like. 14 games gone. We're 5th in the league, 29 points on the board. We have got a game in hand on everybody around us. We're 8 points off top of the table Stockport, so it's already starting to look like automatic promotion might be a push for us this year. But let's remember, we weren't actually looking for automatic promotion this year. We're aiming for a mid-table finish. So we are looking good to be hitting the playoffs towards the end of the season. And I think if we do manage to end up in the playoffs, that'll be a fantastic result. And the other thing I've been up to is a little bit of transfer stuff. There's nobody else who's come in. But as I mentioned in the previous episode, we've got quite a lot of people around the club who are a little bit unhappy about the quantity of games they're playing. It isn't causing a major issue to the club atmosphere yet, but you can see that it is on its way down. We've got 8 unhappy players, and we are going to have to start shipping some of them out. So you'll notice a lot of these are in the team. The ones that aren't in the team are going to be leaving. Ryan Clark has gone out on loan. Levan Brandy has gone out on loan. They're the first 2 to go. I would like to be able to bin off a few more, but it's easier said than done. And we're not exactly in a position where we can just release players. As you can see, nobody's been released since the summer because they can't go anywhere because they're all under contract. It's a tricky one. I'm hoping that we don't get caught out with dynamics this year. I now fully acknowledge I signed too many players in the summer without reducing the size of the squad enough, and this is too many players for this league. We have a first team squad that contains 27 people for the National League. It's too many. That's my tip of the day. You want to be sticking to 20, 22 people in your squad, or else you're going to end up with a lot of people who aren't playing very many games. As you can see, we've got, half the squad have played less than 6 games, and we're 14 games into the season. So, there's only like 8 of them who've played more than half the games. Everyone else in the squad probably has a justifiable, I'm not playing enough games. Even Max Robson is moaning that he's not getting enough playing time. He's started half the matches we've played this season, and he's still not happy with his game time because I told him when he arrived that he was going to be a first team player. I never know where to find this on it. It's here, isn't it? Important player. Told him he was going to be an important player, and then I'm not using him enough. And his attributes are now dropping because he's grumpy, and it's all going wrong, but results are still going well. So I guess I can't complain too much. This is the team for the Darlington game in the FA Cup today. You'll notice no Spasov because he's actually on holiday. He's tired, as well as playing all those games for us. He is off playing international football with Bulgaria under 21s constantly. We've just given him a little bit of time off. The FA Cup's not our priority this year, and to be fair, Terrell Whitaker has started 6 games of his own and scored 6 goals. So he's also a pretty useful finisher. So we're going with O'Brien in goal, a back four of Longalo, Senior, Dunn and Moulden, Wooten and Payne in midfield, McKendy, Robson and Roos behind Whitaker up front. We get into the match. I should probably look how good Darlington are. I haven't actually looked what league they're in. They're in the National League North. Currently top of it though. So they're a form team in a lower division. So it's one of those where it is a little bit tricky. If we were in their position, and we were in their position last year, top of that very league, if we're in their position looking up at National League teams, we're thinking, we've got all the form and all the momentum. We have nothing to fear here. This is a league that we're going to be playing in next year. Let's go and get a result. And that's exactly how they're going to be feeling. So we need to nip that in the bud early on and grab ourselves a couple of early goals and remind Darlington who the bigger team is here. It's mad that I'm talking about Kettering being a bigger team than Darlington. In my mind, Darlington are a football league club and Kettering are deep in non-league. But clearly, times, they are a-changing when it comes to football. Longalo now on the left-hand side, playing it back to Wooten, who's got Robson ahead of him. He's done a little bit of a 1-2 with Wooten, finds Alfie Payne, back to Robson again. This is some nice passing football from Kettering here. Longalo getting himself involved as well. Lots of lovely little passing triangles, and Longalo has the shot. I actually thought that must have been a save because it looked so high and wide, but apparently it wasn't. It was just a really pathetic attempt at a shot from our left-back, who really, after all that nice passing, it shouldn't have been our left-back having a shot out from outside of the area to finish the move off. We should have continued with the patient build-up play that we were showing and worked it into a position when one of our attacking players could have a go. Right, Marco Roos is injured, potential lower leg injury. We've got Connor Stanley on the bench, so that is one of the easiest substitutions we'll ever have to make. In an ideal world, Connor Stanley's our starting right winger anyway. Roos is only in the team because he's one of the grumpy 8 who needs game time, so we're giving him some. Longalo, big ball forward, looking for Whittaker, who's in behind here, and Whittaker applies the finish, but it's disallowed for offside. Questionable, I would say, considering how far. I mean, we're not going to ever get to see unless they zoom the camera down to show us, which they're not going to, are they? Are they? There was the line. I don't know. You play the ball from so deep, I think it's quite hard for a striker to be offside in that position, unless he's just completely out of position to begin with, which I guess at this level there's every chance he could be. Malden with the throw. It ends up back with Dunn, who plays it forward to Connor Stanley. There's McKendy, and there is the first goal of the game. It's a 4th of the season for McKendy, who has been virtually ever present. The flexibility that he's got of being able to play anywhere across this front three completely naturally. He's pretty much starting every game, because if I have to rotate somebody else out, I just move McKendy around, and he's Mr. Reliable. And as you can see there, can weigh in with the odd goal here and there when he needs to as well. 4 for the season now for him, and we are 1-0 up at half-time. I would have been looking for something a little bit better, and we are playing against a team from the division below. I said I wanted a couple of early goals. We've got 1 goal just before half-time. It's not quite what the game plan was, but if we can grab another one, if we're the first to score in this second half, I think that probably puts Darlington to bed, but they'll be thinking in very similar terms. If they can come out and grab an equaliser, it's then all to play for. But they are playing the ball back towards their own left back, which is a little bit odd. But now they're lumping it forward, non-league style, and we need to be a little bit aware of what's going on here. And that's a great save from O'Brien. I think there's a suspicion that might have been going wide anyway, but O'Brien makes sure he pushes that around the post. Concedes the corner, but more importantly, makes the save. And now Darlington being ruffians with our defenders, fouling us at their corner. And now it's them with the throw. We need to get the ball back here. It's been a lot of Darlington at the start of this second half. Longalo misses the header, but luckily the Darlington player can't divert it goalwards. But they've started this second half very brightly. And this is always the situation where I'm not entirely sure what to do, shout-wise, when we're 1-0 up. But the other team are getting back into it, because I can't really demand more because we're already winning. But at the same time, I can't moan because we're winning. Or congratulate them because the other team are getting back into it. And it just gets a little bit, there's no right thing to do. Right, we don't have a striker on the bench. So we're going to demonstrate McKendy's flexibility again by putting him up front. We're going to bring Phoenix Patterson on the left-hand side. And that will do for now. I'm looking at Longalo, who's looked a little bit iffy at times today, and we have got Stewart on the bench, plus Dunn could go out to play left back, where Dunn's played most of this season so far at left back, so that might be a change that we're making in the near future. It is going to be, it is Dunn to take the throw, in fact. Dunn throws to Wooten. Wooten crosses over, looking for McKendy, whose header goes just over. And I think I'm probably going to make that change at left back. Longalo's not had very much football at all this season. And I think I'm going to put Dunn out there and bring on Agbon Tahoma to play alongside Senior, just as a He's a big proper defender. I know we had a left back down there on the bench who could have just been a straight swap for Longalo, but I like Dunn at left back, so we'll play him out there. And here he is out at left back. Dunn playing it forward for Patterson. This is a move straight out of last season. Connor Stanley's there. He wasn't here last season, but he's got our second goal of the game. He's 4 for the season, and that should be that now. 82 minutes on the clock. It's 2-0 to Kettering, and we should be about to find ourselves a place in the first round proper of the FA Cup, which is, of course, where we can start earning money. And we are still at the stage where cup runs are crucial. We had that big away game against Plymouth this time last year in the first round, and that set us up financially for the next year or so. We've still got nearly £250,000 in the bank off the back largely of that one game last year. So we want to be holding on and then looking for a big away draw. We're looking for the likes of Sunderland, Portsmouth, these teams in League One, assuming they are still in League One, who get big followings. Even Plymouth again, Bradford, anyone who gets a large number of fans through the door, that's big. That's a big gate receipt, which is split 50-50 in the FA Cup. That's where we want the money. Right, corner for us, 4 minutes left. It's going to be Alfie Payne to take, who's had a bit of a quiet game today, but the cross does come over. I think he's looking for, was that Agbon to Homer there at the near post, but it doesn't quite end up being anything useful. It doesn't quite. I mean, I'm saying it doesn't quite. It was useless. He kind of flicked it on and almost cleared it. Done now, though. Looking for the long throw. There's a time and a place for it, Joe, and that wasn't it. And now Darlington have got the ball. 2.5 minutes of added time remaining. I think we probably should be okay, but it always alarms me a little bit that there's still a highlight. Ollie McKendy's in here. It's a very good save from the Darlington keeper. And we have the corner. It's not worthy of a highlight, apparently. Yet here is another highlight. It's Darlington with the ball again. We've won it off them again, but they've got it back again. And they are looking for a goal here. Fair play to Darlington. They've not given up in this match today. I really wish they would, because they're making this much more hard work than it needed to be. Patterson now trying to finish things off for us. Phoenix Patterson just going to keep on running. I would have been happy for him to just keep running all the way down to the corner flag there, but it's a ball over the top from Malden to Stanley, who drills it across goal. It's behind McKendy, but he does still end up there before any Darlington defenders, because they've committed so many men forward trying to get back into this game, and it's cleared, and that should be that. It's not. We now have to take the throw. There's 10 seconds left. I think this is just a game-ending highlight, which I guess you do get from time to time still in FM21. Or again in FM21, because we never really got them in FM20. But we have won the match. We're into the FA Cup first round proper. Job done. I don't know when the draw is. Presumably, we're going to get the draw before our next game. And I will show you it when it happens. See, even getting 20 grand there is a big financial boost. £280,000 we've now got in the bank with a projection. I mean, let's ignore the projection. £280,000 in the bank, though, is a big deal for a club of our size. And Joe Dunn did have a very good game, played in 2 different positions. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Let's presumably do the FA Cup draw now. So it is now time for the FA Cup first round draw. Before we do it, I just want to have a look at who's in League One, so that we can pick out the big games that we want. So League One teams who are going to get big numbers through the door. Portsmouth are still there. Sunderland are still there. Plymouth still knocking around. Even someone like Lincoln. Lincoln tend to get close to 10,000, don't they? Rotherham, I think, can fetch a decent gate. There's some very tasty ties there if we can get a big away game. Or just get a non-league team at home. Although, to be fair, a non-league team at home is fine, because that then puts us in a good position to get through to the second round and have another crack at the draw. So let's just start working through this draw. If we notice a team that we want, we'll obviously stop for a second. That's a big game, Lincoln versus McDonald's. Or if we notice, I see Kings Lynn would be fun, but no. Boston would be another LOLLUJO derby, but no. Who else have we got here? That's the sort of thing we'll get. Dorking away. Northampton would have been fun as a Peterborough fan myself. Plus, I guess it's a local derby for Kettering, actually. They're nearer to Northampton than Peterborough is. Portsmouth are gone now, so we're not going to get them. Bradford, this is a money tie. Bradford away. No, Newport get that one. Bath would... Oh, there you go. It's another LOLLUJO derby. Bath, who I started non-league to legend with... In fact, I didn't start with them. I ended up there after the year I started with Alfreton. We ended up almost getting sacked and then went to Bath. So Bath are a team I've managed on YouTube before. They're in the National League South. So that's a game that we would be looking to win and get ourselves into the second round of the FA Cup. There's not going to be much money involved in that tie, but a chance of progress in the FA Cup. And of course, prize money in the FA Cup is good as well. I don't know what the prize money is for a first round victory. Where are we? First round, winner prize money, 36,000. 36,000 is a massive amount of money for us. I would be looking to win that and get into the second round, and we'll show you that in tomorrow's video. But for now, let's go and play Woking in the league. So big changes for the Woking game as I continue to try and make everybody happy. I'm convinced I'm fighting a losing battle here. In fact, I'm looking at my bench and I don't need two left backs down there. So let's get who needs to get onto the bench. You can see Asari is leaving, as is James Boot. They're both transfers that are arranged for more players who were unhappy. Let's get Carvalho onto the bench, but Boot's going to be leaving to join Cheltenham. Asari's going to be leaving to join Scunthorpe. They're both relatively small fees. I knew there was more transfers when I was looking for these at the start of the episode. It's because I've got hide inactive deals on. But we're fetching in about 10 grand for those two deals. So that's a couple of players trimmed out of the squad who were here from last year but haven't really featured this year. But the team for today, we've got O'Brien in goal, a back four of Longelo, Senior, Agbon-Tahoma and Malden. Iqbal and Estrada in midfield today with Whitaker, Robson and Stanley behind Spasov up front, who has returned from his little holiday and hopefully returns in the form that he was in before his holiday, because he was spectacular. Every time he touched the ball, he was scoring a goal. I love the fact that he was getting so much abuse from the comments section last year for not being good enough, not being as good as Sheriff. Sheriff now long gone. We'll check in on Sheriff at some point. I'll probably forget to do it today, but I'll try and remember to check in on him at some point. But Spasov, definitely the man. And he's showing it this season with all the goals that he's scored. I think he's the top scorer in the National League so far this season. So that's the sign of quite a good striker, being the top scorer. Woking have started brightly here, though. They're down in the relegation battle in this league. So in a home fixture against a team we're supposed to be better than, I wouldn't be expecting to be doing too much in the way of defending. Although we've not had any kind of attacking highlight yet, but we are only 5 minutes in. Malden intercepts. He's lumped the ball over the top. He was looking for Spasov to chase, but it obviously didn't work out because the highlight ended. Malden now with a throw back to Agbon-Tahoma, and there's no attempt at closing down or pressing from Woking here. They seem very content just to sit back and wait for us to attack them rather than trying to force possession of the ball. Whitaker playing it back to Iqbal, who again is in acres of space. I'm looking at this thinking we need to get Alfie Payne involved in this. He'd have a field day with that amount of time and space. Look how much space Longelo's in on the left-hand side. They're not bothered about closing down our players at all. Longelo is in here. If he can get the crossover, he can. It's Spasov who nods it down to Whitaker, and that's our first goal. And Whitaker's 7th for the season, playing on the left wing today. Spasov giving him the what would you call that? The praising treatment thingy. But Spasov makes this so unselfish, realises he's got a very difficult shot on goal with his head, but Whitaker's there in space, so he just nods it down to him for this relatively simple finish for Whitaker. That looks like a partnership that's forming to me, and this is actually our game in hand as well. So this, as it stands, puts us only 7 points behind Stockport at the top of the league. We're not even halfway through yet, so if we keep winning and if we stay unbeaten, you never know. We could be going back to back, which would be, I think it would be a first time ever in non-league to legend if we go back to back with our first club, back to back promotions. We've done it during the save before. I know we did it with Southend as our second club. I think in the very first non-league to legend, we did back to back League 2, League 1 promotions. And I'm sure the LOLLUJO historians will be able to tell you about other occasions where we've gone back to back in non-league to legend, but I don't think we've ever done it at the start of the save. Spasov's got his 16th of the season now. It was a cross from Longelo. And this time Spasov has nobody challenging for it. It's a simple header. So he decides to be selfish this time. And to be honest, if he tries to nod that back to Whitaker, I'll be having words with him because he should be scoring from there. And he did. Woking clearing, but only as far as Longelo. And again, look at the time and space all our players have got on the ball. We are going to score a lot of goals today if Woking don't change their game plan. Stanley with the cross. It falls to Whittaker and it's 3. And there's only 16 minutes on the clock and it's already 3-0. And Woking's, I mean, to quote the text commentary at the bottom of the screen on many occasions over the years, Woking's game plan's being undone here because they're still just sitting back, letting us have the ball. And it's just, this is why I always refuse to do it. So many times in the comments, I'll get people say, Kev, you've got to play a bit more cautiously. You've got to put men behind the ball when you're playing against better teams. I firmly disagree. This is what happens when you put men behind the ball against better teams, because we have much better players than Woking, and they're just they're letting us play. They're giving us time and space to play. They're trying to just get men between us and the goal, and it's not working out for them. And Spasov's going to make it 4 here. It's actually quite a good save, but then maybe a foul. I would be arguing if we weren't 3-0 up, I'd be quite upset that we didn't win a penalty there, because Spasov's definitely brought down in the area. But I guess I don't need to make too much of a big deal about it. Right, Estrada's injured. So there you go. We get Alfie Payne in. Although I clicked to do it and it has been done. It took its time being done, but Alfie Payne now is on in the midfield. I am happy with how things are going. Keep it going. We don't need to get too over the top in this second half. We can just comfortably knock the ball around, really. We don't need to press things too much. But at the same time, we don't want to let Woking back in the game with something like that. Although I think he's offside. He is offside. It's been disallowed. And he must have just been stood in an offside position as it was lumped towards him. I'm going to claim this is excellent piece of offside trap from our defenders. They've just stepped up. He hasn't. And there's your ball over the top. Excellent defending from our back four. And it's still 3-0. We're still dominating every stat. And I'm now starting to look at that team, wondering who might be tiring and maybe due a bit of a change. Senior and Robson both could probably do with coming off. We've got Mayunga, has he even played for us this year? He's played 14 games, Kev. This is what happens when I come to the game fresh in the morning, and he hasn't played the 3 games I've played this morning. So that means he's not played all year. You were playing him constantly before your computer issues. That's my excuse. I've not had the computer for a few days because it's been broken. Oh, I've made a fool of myself there. Edit that out, somebody. Edit that out. Right, we're going to get him off, and we're also going to get Carvalho on for Robson. So that's our 3 substitutions made now. I'm going to drop a little bit of praise as well, because we have played very efficiently today. We've not had to overstretch ourselves. We got our goals early on. I don't know why Malden's come all the way over to the left wing to take a throw over here when he's our right back. I might need to have a little look at my set piece instructions. I suspect what's happened there is none of our left side throw takers are on the pitch, although why Longalo wouldn't be one of those as one of our best 3 left backs, I'm a little bit confused. Connor Stanley with the effort from just inside the area. If he scores from there, it's going to be spectacular. And again, at 3-0, I don't mind him having a go from there. At 0-0, I'd be furious with him for not trying to find the strikers. Agbon to Homer, though, with the free kick. He's left Malden in a little bit of trouble there. And Malden's done quite well. I know he's given the ball away, but in the circumstances, at least he's given it away in the other half rather than letting them have the ball and be through on goal. But that's all comes back to Agbon to Homer. Mayunga looks to clear it, but again, doesn't really get hold of it properly. Now Carvalho plays it across to Alfie Payne. Woking suddenly seem to have adjusted their play and are coming after us a little bit now. We're not getting that time on the ball we were getting early on, and they look much better for it. But the weird thing is, and this is a little, I don't like to criticise the game too much, but the in-game management AI, I think it's too passive for too long this year, I think. We notice it in away games in the Leicester save in Europe, home games, when teams come to us, they just come to defend even if they're losing. And I've noticed it in this game where Woking just let us score 3 goals before they woke up and thought, yeah, we probably need to do something different here. We might need to try and have the ball ourselves. And they've just left it too late before switching that around. They've sat there behind the ball for the first hour of this game, despite being 3-0 down. And then as soon as they actually start to try and be a bit more productive, you can see the change in the stats. They've been the much better side in the last 20 minutes or so of that game. But it was too late. Less passive AI, folks. That's what we need. Would welcome your thoughts down in the comments section on that. But that is another win. We're back up to 2nd in the league. Only 5 points behind Stockport now. We're back in this title race, boys and girls. How is there somebody else who scored as many goals as Spasov? Ridiculous. How is he only 21 years old? Adam Liddle, if you're watching, I'm sorry. That's not a good photo of you. My goodness. He's coming for me now. Right, we've now got a couple of players. Spasov's literally just back from his holiday and needs another rest. I mean, it's not a massive issue because we've got rotation that needs to be done anyway, so I'll rotate them. I'll rest them. I'll send them on holiday again. But I don't want them all constantly on holiday. So Mayunga is going to go for Spasov 1 to 3. You know what? Have 3 weeks, Slavy. Have 3 weeks. There you go. He's going to miss the next 4 games. We get a run for Whittaker. Mayunga. I mean, send them both for 3 weeks. Rest up, lads. We've got plenty of players. Rest up. And they should be back just in time for the next episode, which will be Bath in the FA Cup first round. Cue the comment section saying, Kev, it's Bath. Show me the R. It's Bath and Torquay in the league. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.